Hey everyone, welcome to our monthly review of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and in chapter 10 we finally see Himawari's true potential finally unleashed. We've been waiting for this for years, ever since Damon went up to Himawari and was like, yo, what the hell, why is she so powerful? And we finally see why, and we probably see that she might be even stronger than Naruto. But before we start, I have my co-host of Boruto with me as always, Rayshawn. Please tell the viewers out there, where can they find your contact at?
Well, you guys can find me on all your podcasting platforms such as Spotify and Apple. And it's good to be with you guys again on this week. Sorry I missed the last one, but we're back into it.
Yeah.
We're back into it.
Back together. That's what matters the most. But let's get into the chapter, guys. Chapter starts off with Shikamaru telling Kawaki like, hey, ignore what's going on with Boruto. Let him, do what he has to do, and he can be an ally against, the Shinju's right now. And then he's saying that right now, Himawari can be in trouble. And this right here, Kawaki has taken some flack, throughout, time skip being weak and, getting knocked out so many times. But I have to give him this. He said when Himawari was in danger, why did he not see him in the first place? And he just dips out and flies over to, where Himawari is being attacked. That right there, I was like, okay, Kawaki. I'm going to take back some things I said about you. But that right there, I have to get kudos to you because I really like that much. Like, even though what he did was messed up, doing the omniponence and all that stuff, but it just showcased that he does have love for Himawari. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it also shows the fact that the reason why Boruto wasn't hell-bent on going to get Himawari, because he knew she was safe. You know what I mean, low-key? So I felt like he had enough respect in Kawaki to be like, yeah, you're not going to let nothing happen to her, because the ass whooping you'll get for that would be way different. That's a whole different type of an ass whooping. But I thought that was very interesting. And I also think this kind of goes into another thing I was thinking about in the difference between Hokages. And one thing you learn from like Naruto was when these threats came, he ran to the threat. It was always, Naruto. And also, I could say the first Hokage. I was thinking maybe the third, but I don't know. Maybe that was just more situational based. It was Orochimaru. But going from the mindset of like you have these Hokages that run into the threat, I feel like their reigns as Hokages are not as long. I feel like Shikamaru may low-key have a longer reign as Hokage because he's more able to utilize the people around him and stuff like that. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, plus Shikamaru knows he has two gods by his side, so he knows he'll be okay.
Yeah, especially if he figure out how to use them the right way and not have them fight each other and kill each other before they actually go against what they need to. And I like the fact that once things started to look south, when Naruto stopped being able to look like the strongest person, he was in the background like, we need androids. We need something because hell nah.
All right, we're gonna get one panel with Boruto, and right now he's just utterly shocked right now. He's trying to keep calm to make sure the calm mark does not fully activate because he knows that he still can't control Momoshiki. And right now, Shikamaru's like, yo, Boruto, you good right now? He's like, yo, I'm all good. Small, a little incident right now, but I'll be fine. I just need to rest for a while. But being saying that, he cannot activate that calm mark. He does not have full control anymore. And he knows that if that full calm mark is activated again, Momoshiki will come out and just cause havoc. Now this Boruto, with, Yuzu Yuku, Rasengan, Flying, Rising, you put that on Momoshiki, unstoppable.
Which is very interesting because they had made a whole point of being like Momoshiki wouldn't be able to take over his body no more, being able because he like gave him that life essence to bring him back. So I don't know what. I mean, I guess you would go with the mindset that Momoshiki could take over his body. That's the reason why he's like disappearing and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like there's more into that than what we're seeing, and I don't know. If it is Momoshiki, I think it's interesting to the point that he's able to suppress him to the point we don't even get like a conversation with him no more. That's the interesting thing because remember before Momoshiki just popped up like, yo, you see that bitch over there? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just different now. So I think that would be cool to see what that's more about. But also, I thought it was interesting from the last chapter. It was like you get a lot of these cutaway scenes, and it was one scene where if you looked on the wall, they had like a lot of these snake type of like decorations and stuff. So I will say I do believe Orochimaru is helping Boruto.
When we get that conversation again with Boruto and Momoshiki, that it's going to be monumental. I guarantee it. Mind you, we haven't seen him since the time skip. It's been 3 years, and it's going to be epic. I know it's gonna be monumental when they have that conversation again.
Man, it really just depends, because I mean, we kind of get with towards the end, they have an ability where they can kind of talk to each other like just personalities or just like spirits, low key. So I wonder if he's doing that and we just not able to kind of see that. So that'd be interesting.
Then, to me personally, we get to one of my favorite parts in the entire chapter. We get Hidari seeing Sarada, and he's saying, Sarada Uchiha. And he doesn't play no games. He goes straight for the kill. You see the claw marks go on the ground, and he pops up and tries to kill her with the Chidori. But luckily, Sarada was able to activate her 3-Tomy Sharingan and evade the Chidori, and then hit him back with the Chidori on him, and is able to do some type of damage on him. And Sarada was completely shocked right now, saying that it was Chidori. Only me and my father is able to do that jutsu. Who in the world are you? And that right there, I thought that we were gonna get a Sarada centric chapter, and I was all for it. Her versus her father was gonna be fire, and we are gonna finally see her activate her Mangekyou Sharingan and see what abilities they are. But we got a little tease. Eventually, I know we'll get that battle, but this right here could have been really, really great in this chapter. But I guess we gotta wait, for the conclusion of this fight.
One thing I do find interesting about these 10-tail clones is that they're very driven to what they said they're gonna do. So, because it's like in the beginning of that, before Sarada even comes, he's talking to Konohamaru and all of them, like, why the fuck did y'all even come over here? Like, I like the energy that he had. Like, it was like, I know how strong you guys are, and I like, what are you doing? Like, you should have never even came here. But then you do get Sarada come, and the fact that he's like just dismisses them, like they don't even this don't no even and he goes straight after Sarada, which is also interesting because I don't know if he placed those claw marks next to her or what happened with that, but he was able to kind of like jump through those and hit her with a Chidori. I am mad that she didn't kind of make that reference of like, okay, this is my dad type of energy type of thing, but you kind of get that feel when she's like, oh, only me and my dad could do Chidori, which is actual bullshit, because I would love if that had turned out to be Kakashi and he would have been like, I'm the one that taught that motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't forget me out here type. But I do think that's pretty like interesting. One thing I do think is interesting is the fact that she was able to land her Chidori.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, Sarada might have had a nice little upgrade in power, and when she got like kind of caught up off guard with Kawaki, that might have just been a little mistake. But right now we getting heavy energy because every chapter you're always like, we need this character to come, we need this character to come. Right now, the only character that need to show up is Sakura. That's the only motherfucking character I want to see within the next 3 chapters. She has so much relevance to why she should be in the next few chapters. Because it's like, first of all, your man show up, everybody like saying it over the radio. I'm mad that we haven't seen her. Like, what is she doing? Like, if they offed her off screen, this is really gonna make people mad. Like, because what is she doing right now? And you would think she would be making one of the biggest ruckus out of everybody, because she would low key be the strongest.
I'm not gonna lie to you, a Sarada and Sakura team up versus Hidari would be fire. Man. Like, bruh, like, so I'm hoping it's coming, but that's the only character right now that I'm like needs to make an appearance. Like, I don't care how she needs to come up. As of right now, this is the only fight I'm really hyped for when it comes to Shinju's, is Sarada versus Hidari.
Actually, I'm not. I'm happy for that fight. I want to see it, but it's 2 fights low key that I'm a little bit more interested in. I kind of want to see Bug versus Damon, because that's gonna be nasty. I do want to see what the end of this chapter is gonna bring. I feel like that fight low key just jumped ahead, because it's not more about is he about to be just kicking around a little baby, but now it's like, hold up. You might have met your match.
Now, talking about Kurama and Himawari, we got some dialogue with them, which is really heavy towards the end of the chapter. And Himawari's like, how are you inside of me right now? And he was saying that, I was pleased with your father, Naruto, but during the battle, my flame of life died out. However, death is not eternal for the tail beasts like me, which we already knew. anytime a tail beast do die, they do get reincarnated. But we never knew how they get to, the next, person that will be, under their host under. And he's saying that even if our bodies and souls perish, we will always return somewhere over time. The factor will emerge, and they will be resurrected, like I said before. And how long would it take, or where will we get emerge? Nobody knows. But it's weird that I came back to his own daughter this soon. And he's saying that maybe you were born with a trace of my chakra, with the Uzumaki blood, Hyuga blood, and maybe that's why you were brought here, and that's why it's fate that brought us back together. And my God, mind you, she has a Hyuga bloodline inside of her, and the Uzumaki blood inside of her, and a trace of chakra for of the Nine Tails. My goodness, what's your thoughts on that real quick before we head on?
Okay, it's a lot of points I want to hit at, but I'm just gonna try to do one-on-one. First point I'm gonna hit at is I think it's interesting the fact that it was able to just reincarnate inside of Himawari, because I always thought it just come back in its physical form and kind of just be running around, and they have to go around and find it again and basically pit it in another facility again in another person's body. The fact that it's able to kind of just reappear inside Himawari is interesting. I do think one thing he did allude to is that maybe parts of my chakra was already inside you, so that kind of helped it. Or maybe it was just fate, which to me, if it was just fate, that was fucking crazy. That for that to happen like that, that's just interesting. Next, kind of moving on from like that situation, when you're kind of talking about the kind of stuff mixed in her. So in the belief, if I'm remembering everything correctly, she should technically have both of Hugoromo's, the Sage of Six Paths, both of his kid chakra inside of her, if I'm thinking correctly. Because from the Naruto movie, didn't the other brother give his chakra to Hinata? If I'm remembering correctly, did you watch the?
Yeah, I did. I can't remember that much. That movie was so long ago.
I swear that's what happened. But if that's not exactly what happened, but then who knows? But if that's what happened, then she should be low key able to kind of have a Renegon, or have the ability to make a Renegon. Probably have the ability to create the seal to lock up the Ten Tails. If she does have both sense of the chakra, she probably can learn it. I don't know if that was just ability that he gave them, or if that was something, but I think the two brothers can do it too, so I think that would be cool. But the fact that she does have the Nine Tails part of her, I mean, just think of that mixed with the Byakugan. I mean, that right there just sounds nasty. I mean, Naruto never had any extra like
Oculus power.
Not or any extra abilities that could have been like really approved upon. I mean, he did get like Sage Mode and stuff like that, but like his overall like abilities was just like Rasengan type of thing. But if you think about just the utilization of just the Kurama avatar doing the 100, like the 64 palms and shit like that, like the air palm and shit like that, could be nasty. Like that, like, oh. Because I mean, that attack already can go through their beard, a person's like guard. So it's like, man, yeah, she can be nasty.
And one thing everybody's complaining about is that, oh, how is Himawari already have more chakra than Naruto? How she's really stronger? Remember this, guys. Since the beginning of Naruto, Kakashi always said, the new generation will always surpass the older generation. It's just a fact. Look at sports. One of the best receivers of all time, Jerry Rice. Randy Moss is one of the most athletic receivers ever. Then you go to 15, 20 years later, Justin Jefferson is one of the most athletic receivers of all time. The past generation will always be passed by the new generation. And it's just a thing that, a tradition of life that you'll always get passed by, the new generation.
And the fact that, I mean, they literally have the same blood within them. So, I mean, even if you want to measure it out to them having similar chakra pools, that's still fucking crazy. Because I mean, the fact that Naruto always had that chakra was always what gave him the advantage. But if you think about the fact that now Himawari has that chakra and has the Byakugan, so now she has more of the ability to take that chakra and use it more precisely, not really like not wasting it, more or less like Naruto, but kind of a little bit more kind of like Sakura, where she's utilizing that chakra in a better form. I think she's gonna get a lot of it. She's gonna utilize her abilities a lot better. And I think it's weird to think like Himawari would be weak and Boruto would just be strong. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they literally come from the same parents. Like what are you like? Like I don't understand that. I think she low key's better because she's getting Naruto's chakra and she's getting parts of her mom, which Boruto wasn't. I don't know if he really got anything from his mom.
Yeah, and like I said before, Kakashi always said Naruto's generation will always surpass his generation. And Boruto's generation is going to surpass Naruto and Sasuke's generation. It's just a form of life. It's going to happen.
And the only outlier to that was the first Hokage. I mean, that's the only outlier, but that's it, really.
All right. Then we get the continuation of Jiren going after Team 10. And then we get more dialogue with Himawari and Kurama saying that you have more chakra than any of your predecessors. And it has in a high infinity with my chakra. So much that even surpasses Naruto, like we talked about previously. And then, Himawari's like, okay, I got this. She goes after Jiren. But mind you, she didn't activate no BUG mode, none of that stuff. She goes in straight base form. And he catches her leg and breaks that shit. And then Team 10 just breaks down and they're going crazy or not. And he knows it. He's like, you know what? Enough of this shit. I'm going to stop him. And Shikadai's like, yo, hold on, dude. Like, let's work together. Like, don't go and, angry right now. And then, unfortunately, we see the worst thing can happen to Inoji. And he gets impaled by one of the tree jutsus that Jiren did when he first invaded the Hidden Leaf. And impales him right through the chest. I'm going to say this right now. Inoji is not dead. I can mind you, Jiren gave them compliments saying that, yo, you guys work really well as a team, and it sucks that I got to kill one of you guys. And I think that he wants to continue to build his army. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take him because, he's really good at what he does, and I feel like I can utilize his, his tactics. And I feel like, Shinju's want to continue to build the army, you know what I mean? And they want thirst for knowledge. They want to learn about his jutsu as well, too. So I feel like he's not dead. I mean, yeah, the shit impaled the goddamn chest. And if I am wrong, and they kill Inoji, bring the parents back. We got to see the OGs come back in because you can't let this rock. I'm sorry to say, Sai, Ino, you can't let this rock. You're gonna let your son die and just cry about it. No, you got to go in there and go after this man as well too. If he's not getting transformed to Shinju, we need to see the OGs back in this, time skip right now. See Kakashi, Sai, Ino, Sakura, Rock Lee, like bring everybody back because you can't let this death, just be. Let it go and we're gonna move on. No, we need to see the OGs back. What's your thoughts on that before we get to the end?
It's a lot I want to say. I want to throw in what you said at the end though, because I think it's funny that you're using that death as a big one because a lot of ninjas died throughout this, so it's like fuck all them. This dude right here. But I will say I don't know if they are like low key writing this as a love angle for them to. I don't know if I'm just overthinking that, but I thought that was interesting that he was willing to risk everything to go save her, like versus everybody else. So I thought that was pretty interesting. One thing I thought you did skip over a little bit when you talked about before her kick was the fact that before that, she just kept screaming out Kurama, like Kurama was going to jump out of her and like go tackle. So that was like funny because she was like, Kurama, you see that? Like, and I'm like, what? I bet Kurama like, bitch, what did you do? Like, what are you doing?
It doesn't work like that.
I like the fact that he basically kind of pitted in her head, like, if you want to do something, you gotta do it. Like, you gotta basically do something. And I think that's what gave you that moment where she like, fuck it, and then do the kick and then get her leg like, so she like, we'll be trying, we'll see what happens, low key. But I like that this kind of is low key like a Super Saiyan moment for her, where it's like you see somebody, one of your friends, get injured, kind of like Goku seeing Krillin, and now she's kind of like, okay, let me show y'all. But like what you said, we need to see some of these main OG characters come back. That's low key where I've been like, we need to see Sakura. When y'all just heard me before, like we need to see Sakura. She can low key is the person that can help in all these situations. Like she can come back, help what's his name, and heal him so he could be fine. It's kind of weird in the timing in which if they do bring Sakura, which battlefield would she go to first? Because it's hard for me to be like, she would go to Himawari in them first versus Sarada and Sasuke first. But we do know Ino can do healing. So I don't know. A lot of these situations is probably going to force them to get out of the roles they're in. Because I mean, Ino is she does have a big role. She literally controls the security of the whole Hokage. I mean, the whole leaf. So I mean, for her to like be like, fuck this shit, somebody else take my role, I'm going outside. That's a big thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, it would be fun to see them be forced back into play and to see like how strong these characters are, because I would love to see Rock Lee come into play and fight, but we still haven't. I don't think we've seen Metal Lee or anything. So, but I do like the fact that he did call this new version of Team 10 a nice team, because I mean they really are. Yeah. They're really doing everything they can to keep Himawari safe and stay alive versus people who are stronger than Jigen. I mean, Sugadai is making some good calls in this situation. He doesn't really seem like he's being like over thinking, because like if you think what's his name Shikamaru, when he was in this type of situation and his first mission just taking charge of a lot of other people, I'm not gonna say different people because he did take in charge of some different people. A lot of people got hurt in that mission and when they was going after the Sound 5. So I mean Sugadai in this situation is doing pretty good. I'll give this fact in my mindset.
Yo, definitely, I definitely agree with that.
But I mean, your main boy did die, so I mean, but he wouldn't listen, so I get that to him too. Like sometimes it's hard if you tell a motherfucker not to go and he go. What? Like you can't blame me.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, mind you, Himawari's leg was twisted the other way around. He was like, "Oh shit, we gotta go in. We can't sit here and make a plan. We gotta go and save her." Because holy shit.
Yeah,
she could have died from shock, honestly.
I mean, what we don't get is probably the scream that she probably made when she did that, and that probably was enough to be like,
yeah, it ticked them.
I don't care what you're thinking about, but I gotta go.
Yep. Then we get to the end of the chapter, and we see her Gohan moment when Gohan broke out of the space pod and hit Raditz. She breaks out of where the tree that she's captured at, and you see her. I can't really confirm what mode it is, but she yells out, "I said stop it!" And then you see her hair transform to 9 tails. It literally has 9 tails. Now I can't confirm if it's a Barium or like pre-Barium form, or is it one of the Bijou modes? Because it's not the 9 tail cloak, because you don't see no cloak around her. So it's either the base form of the Barium mode, or a Bijou mode, or a whole new complete mode just for her Himawari herself, which would be really, really fire. And she says, "Didn't you hear me?" And then Kurama's like, "Let's fucking go. You lost your temper. Let's wild the fuck out now, Himawari." And that's how the chapter ends. And I'm like, oh, right, God. Right when we get to the juicy part, we leave with a cliffhanger. And we're going to see, is she able to go toe-to-toe with Jiren? And I just cannot wait for the next chapter. And how did you take the end of the chapter? Because right now, it was really, really good.
Well, I think the raid thing is really going to help her, like, do a lot of damage to him, because he's going to be able to utilize that a lot more than if she was fighting clearly, because she doesn't know how to use his power or anything. So I feel like that's going to help him be able to like control and be a little bit more in control, which is a little bit what I think is different is why she's not in like the 9 tails chopper modes, is the fact that the 9 tails is more willing to work with the person that's taking the vessel. So he's like really trying to get her chopper, trying to save her from this moment type of thing. So she doesn't have to go through the whole process of getting the 9 tails to like her and all that bullshit. The 9 tails is already like, bitch, we need to work together and get this motherfucker. So it's like he really needed a reason for her to be able to unlock that power to push it out. So with that being able to be the case, I think it's interesting. I do think it's interesting that the 9 tails isn't in the mindset of like, hey, I need you to activate my power so we can escape. It's more like, I need you to utilize my power so we can fight this guy. So I feel like either this 9 tails truly believes that whatever is inside of Himawari is such more of a better connection that what we see with Naruto. Like, this is what I want to tell people. Whatever you seen what Naruto did with the 9 tails,
throw out the window.
Bullshit. It's like, it's not going to be anything in comparison to what we about to see. Especially if she is able to beat this dude, hold him back, or make him run away. This is already showing something Naruto wasn't able to do with the 9 tails, especially if we can power scale them to be stronger than Jigen. So it's like, she's already showing she's way better as a fighter than them. So I just want to see what abilities she utilizes in this new form. This because I feel like if she like somehow is able to utilize the Byakugan with the Nine Tails mode, it's like unless those Senjus have studied the Byakugan to the point where they know that 1% like blind spot they have, what can she be hit with? Like you know what I mean? It's like she will always be like able to know what's going on. So I feel like this is going to be very interesting. But then you also got to believe that this fight is not going to be that long. This fight is more of a can she hold them off to whoever gets there first.
Yeah.
Kawaki, Ino, Boruto. It's like who's ever is going to get there first to basically help them. So I think this is probably get to more of a route of them retreating because we already seen they have the abilities to retreat into the claw marks and stuff. But I do think this is going to be interesting. We probably going to see a little bit of a power up. She going to fall out and go to sleep. But right now, Himawari just showed that everybody, I'm the most powerful person in this group, low key.
Yeah, so definitely great stuff right there. And like I said before, what is her form? And then is she gonna activate another form as well too in the next chapter? Going to full Biju mode or full Baryon mode? That right there is what we gotta wait till next chapter. But Rayshawn, what would you rate this chapter before we end this episode?
I'll probably give this chapter a solid 8 to like a. I'll do 7.5 to 8, and I'll do 7.5 because I feel like it's a good introductory chapter to things that are about to happen. Because I feel like there's a lot of more battles. This helps set up. It kind of helps set up kind of the situation to why the Nine Tails is inside of her. So we got that information. It was basically more of an informational chapter.
Yeah, like I said before, this is more of a developmental chapter, and I give it a 7.5 as well too. It could have been an 8. Me personally, we would have got more of a Sarada versus Hidari fight. That moment right there was fire. We would have got more panels of that. I would have gave it at least almost 8.5 to a 9. But we didn't. And then the end with Himawari and activating with Kurama, whatever form it is going to be fire. I know that was good as well too, but it was more of a developmental chapter like you said before. So I agree with you. I give it a 7.5. All right, Rayshawn, before we end it, can you tell the viewers out there where can they find all your social media platform and your podcast at?
You guys can find me on all your podcasting platforms such as Spotify, Apple. You can find me on Instagram by searching rgap2. You can find me on TikTok, rgap. I think 2, maybe 2, or just searching up Rayshawn Gas and Anime Podcast. I have been trying to post more on there recently, trying to get more of my viewers and stuff up and stuff. But also check out my podcast. We've been dropping some amazing interviews lately with a lot of voice actors. We have a lot of Dragon Ball content coming out, and you guys just really are. It's a lot of stuff you need to look at. So yeah, just search me up.
All right. Also hit that like and subscribe button. We're almost our goal of 500. We're literally almost there. And as always, guys, this is Culture Universe.